This is the London Visited podcast on your favourite podcast provider, bringing to you the facts, history and information about different parts of this great capital. If you have been to London, are planning on visiting, live here or just love London from afar, then this is the podcast for you.
Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to our podcast. We're here for all things London and to tell you more behind some of the iconic places and people in London's history. In this episode, we go to Topshop, a clothing retailer that's had stores across the UK, but with their main UK store on Oxford Circus. This is a request from one of our listeners, Rachel Stainsby. She let us know that whenever she visited London, she would always be so excited to see the huge flagship store on Oxford Street. She would be interested to hear about the origins of it, the expansions, and what is in that space now. Rachel, thank you so much for getting in touch and suggesting this. And this week, this is your podcast. But before we start, don't forget to visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel, London Visited, to see videos covering so many places across London. Also, if you love the podcast and the channel, why not join us as a member? Join our group of what we like to call our London Visited Crown Jewels, where there are so many different benefits, including a members-only monthly podcast. Have a look by going to www.patreon.com/London Visited. And now to this week's podcast. Topshop was a British multinational fashion retailer of women's clothing, shoes, makeup and accessories. It had around 510 shops worldwide, of which some 300 were in the UK, plus online operations in several markets. It was part of the Arcadia Group, controlled by Sir Philip Green, which went into administration in late 2020. The Topshop brand was purchased by ASOS on the 1st of February 2021 and now operates exclusively online. Topshop originally started as a brand extension of the department store Peter Robinson in the 1960s and originally sold fashion by young British designers such as Mary Quant and Sterling Cooper. Peter Robinson was a women's fashion chain which had been acquired by Burton in 1946. Topshop was founded in 1964 as Peter Robinson's Topshop, a youth brand within the Sheffield branch, and also had a large department in the Oxford Street shop. This was high fashion for the young and different generation, as the Times put it, in 1965, and the department stocked garments by names such as Mary Quant and Gerald McCann. By 1966, it had a branch in the Peter Robinson store in Norwich. Peter Robinson's Topshop buyer, Diane Wadley, had an eye for young talent and introduced the Royal College of Art graduate Jane Whiteside to Jeff Cooper and Ronnie Sterling. The Sterling Cooper brand they created soon had its own sections in Topshop shops in London and Sheffield, as well as being stocked in Peter Robinson stores in Norwich and Bristol. Other brands stocked at Topshop include Jeff Banks, French Connection and Radley Cooper. In 1973, parent company Burton Group launched a major expansion of its women's wear division, splitting Topshop by Peter Robinson into two chains to be known as Peter Robinson and Topshop. It was announced that while Peter Robinson would target the over 25s market, Topshop would focus on the age range 13 to 24, with Ralph Halpern directing the new venture. By 1974, Peter Robinson had been reduced from 22 stores to 6, while Topshop was developing independently, still retaining the one co-branded shop in Oxford Street, and it was described as highly profitable. Its key retail rivals included Miss Selfridge and the Way Inn boutique arm of Harrods. Within 2 years, Topshop had 55 standalone branches, with more to come according to an article in the Times. Fashion editor Prudence Glynn described it as having a sharp definition of purpose. It made profits of £1 million that year. By 1978, Topshop accounted for a third of Burton's operating profits. Also in 1978, Burton embarked on a drive to win a larger share of the men's fashion market in the midst of declining sales of men's tailoring, launching the Top Man brand along similar lines to its women's retail arm. It was described by an executive as more of a brother to Topshop than a son of Burton. The following year, Burton announced sales and profits up by 30% in women's wear, with Top Man also being cited as highly profitable. By the start of the 1980s, the brand was being referred to as Topshop. In the 1980s, Topshop struggled to maintain its profile as a fashion brand, but by the late 1990s, it began undergoing a revival. The brand pioneered online fashion, launching the UK's first online fashion store for Topshop. This turnaround is often credited of the promotion of Jane Shepherdson as brand director. Having begun her career as a buyer, she rose through the ranks of the company. When she took on the brand direction, Topshop had an annual profit of £9 million. By 2005, it was making over £100 million annually. Under her tenure, Topshop became a key sponsor of London Fashion Week, sponsoring its New Gem arm that supports emerging British designers from 2002, and the Fashion East initiative, which acts as a bridge between London's fashion colleges and the New Gen scheme a year later. This sponsorship continues, and since 2005 it has been a part of the London Fashion Week catwalk schedule. In December 2012, Philip Green sold a 25% stake in Topshop and Topman to the US-based private equity firm Leonard Green and Partners for $805 million. Under the terms of the deal, Arcadia retained Topshop's flagship Oxford Street shop, said to be worth between £400 and £500 million. Green said that the deal will enable Topshop to speed up its expansion, particularly within the US. In 2015, Topshop started collaborating with the online retailer Zalando and began selling their merchandise in their shops. Advertisements featured models and were broadcast in Germany, Switzerland and France. Topshop has been among the UK chain shops to work with high-fashion brands on capsule collections. In 1994, it launched a collection with Red or Dead. It continued to work with designer talent, such as former Clements Rubino assistant Marcus Lupfer. Described in 1999 as "so hot he's practically steaming." In May 2007, British supermodel Kate Moss designed her first collection for the brand. The appointment of Moss was announced just before the departure of Shepherdson for Whistles. In the same year, Stella Vine designed a limited edition range inspired by her artworks. These included t-shirts, vest tops and t-shirt dresses, with the labels designed in pink glitter. The Guardian commented that the fact that the range of t-shirts she has recently designed for Topshop, emblazoned with slogans like "breaking up with her boyfriend," are flying out, speaks volumes for her public support. In 2014, Beyoncé signed a deal to launch an activewear brand with Topshop. The 50-50 venture was initially called Parkwood Topshop Athletic Limited and was scheduled to launch its first dance, fitness and sports ranges in autumn 2015. In November 2015, it was revealed that the brand would launch in April 2016. The brand was later revealed to be called Ivy Park. Arcadia Group went into administration on the 30th of November 2020. On the 25th of January 2021, ASOS said it was in exclusive talks to buy Arcadia's Topshop, Topman, Miss Selfridge and Hit brands out of administration, though it only wanted the brands, not the shops. A consortium including Next had earlier dropped a bid to buy Topshop and Topman. Interest in Arcadia's operations had been expressed by Mike Ashley Fraser's group, a consortium including JD Sports and online retailer Boohoo. On the 1st of February 2021, ASOS announced it had acquired the Topshop, Topman, Miss Selfridge and Hit brands out of administration for £265 million, paying an additional £65 million for current and pre-ordered stock. ASOS kept 300 employees on as part of the deal, but didn't keep any of the brand stores, which put 2,500 jobs at risk. Topshop had around 510 shops, including those that are franchised. Over 300 shops were located in the UK. It had operated across 37 countries and via online operations in several markets. Topshop began planning its expansion to the US in the mid-2000s and was tipped to open in New York as early as 2007. Currently, it operates via a website and sells in Nordstrom shops. A small number of wholly owned shops were located in major cities. In November 2014, it opened a flagship shop in New York City, located on Fifth Avenue. The shop was the largest international site and the second only to the Oxford Street London shop in square footage. It was its second shop in New York City, the first having opened on Broadway in 2009. In May 2019, Arcadia filed for Chapter 15 bankruptcy in the US and announced that all 11 US freestanding Topshop stores would be liquidated and closed. However, Topshop would continue to sell its merchandise exclusively at Nordstrom locations. Topshop announced a 5-year international expansion plan in early 2011, planning to open new shops across Asia, Australia and the US, as well as seeking opportunities in Europe. Although the Japanese flagship stores launched in 2006, all 5 shops in Japan shut in 2015. In 2013, parent Group Arcadia began stepping up its franchise deals, announcing a planned 150 new shop openings with partners in Canada, Australia, and Vietnam, to include Topshop and Topman shops. In November 2012, Topshop launched its first shop in South Africa. Topshop expanded into Australia in 2011 with shops in the New South Wales and Victoria districts. In 2015, Topshop opened a flagship shop in Auckland and 10 months later a shop in Wellington. The company had a presence in New Zealand since 2010, opening a small concession within a department store in 2010. In September 2017, the franchise went into receivership and both shops closed in September 2017. Topshop had originally expanded into Singapore since 2000, with an outlet opening at Orchard Road. In September 2020, all stores were eventually closed down, citing losses, before the acquisition by ASOS in February 2021. The Oxford Circus branch in London was the flagship Topshop shop in the UK, and it had 90,000 square feet, 8,400 square metres, covered 5 floors and attracted an average of 28,000 customers each day. Topshop has been criticised for its overseas sourcing policies and its tax arrangements. In December 2007, the Edinburgh branch was targeted by Students' Campaigning Network, People and Planet, for allegedly using cotton picked by slave labour. In December 2010, some 200 campaigners staged a sit-in that closed Topshop's Oxford Circus shop, and in Brighton, a number of protesters glued themselves to the branch windows. Other high streets in towns and cities across Britain saw similar protests in a day of action by UK Uncut against corporate tax arrangements. 2 months later, police arrested a man for writing "Pay your taxes" in washable ink on the wall of a Topshop branch in Colchester. In July 2013, the singer Rihanna won a lawsuit against Topshop to prevent it using her image unofficially on a t-shirt. The lawsuit was launched on the premise that Topshop customers would assume Rihanna endorsed the company. That would lead to a false representation of her celebrity image and increase tensions with her then endorsement deal with River Island, a high street rival. Judge Justice Burris agreed that customers would likely be deceived into believing that it had the singer's approval. Topshop launched an appeal to the High Court, accusing Rihanna of wrongfully advocating that only a celebrity may ever market his or her own character, and the Judge Justice of misreading the law on celebrity merchandising. The appeal was rejected unanimously at the Court of Appeal in London in January 2015. In July 2015, Topshop had been criticised for its mannequins, which some judged as too skinny. After a customer complained on Facebook, the fashion chain stopped using its tall and skinny female shop mannequins. It was also criticised in October 2018 for removing an in-store pop-up at its London flagship store that was used to promote feminism, with the publisher Penguin, after only being up for 20 minutes. The fashion retailer had agreed to host the pop-up with Penguin to help launch the book Feminists Don't Wear Pink and Other Lies, written by Scarlett Curtis, with products for sale supporting the UN charity Girl Up. In May 2016, the UVW union organised a large protest outside Topshop's Oxford Circus store, attended by the Shadow Chancellor, John MacDonald MP. It was the headlining event in a national day of action involving 16 other Topshop stores around the country, supported by various trade unions and activist groups, calling for the living wage and dignified treatment of outsourced cleaners being victimised for trade union activity. 2 weeks earlier, an early day motion in the House of Commons, supported by 11 MPs, noted that contract cleaners employed at Topshop stores by the contractor Britannia Services Group are paid below the living wage, forcing hard-working staff into debt and poverty. Believes that there is no excuse for profitable multinational companies, which provide huge payouts to shareholders, refusing to pay decent wages. Fully supports cleaners contracted to work at Topshop stores who are unionising, protesting and campaigning for the living wage, is extremely concerned by reports that these staff are being victimised and bullied for asking for a decent wage. Further believes that it is utterly disgraceful for the Arcadia Group, which owns Topshop, or its contractors, to punish staff for asking for decent wages. Now, one thing that Rachel wanted to know is, what is there now? The space has been empty for some time, but a certain Swedish furniture retailer, which goes by the name of IKEA, has now taken the premises. They bought the premises here for £378 million, and the new store is due to open in autumn 2023. Yes, in 18 months from the publishing of this podcast. Guess they may be taking some time to build the store with their Allen keys and instructions. So, I hope you've enjoyed our look at Topshop, another iconic brand that has gone from the high street. If you'd like to make contact with us or suggest any places you'd like us to feature, just like Rachel did for this episode, in future podcasts, just let me know through our website www.londonvisited.co.uk or via our social media. It's that easy. Thanks for listening and really hope you enjoyed our podcast, and we'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.
Thanks for listening, and please don't forget to subscribe to get more shows direct to your device. Also, why not visit our London Visited YouTube channel to get even more of London. Catch you soon on the next one.